Hey everybody, Will Hamilton here, and in this video we're looking at the Roger Federer, Tommy Robredo 4th round match at the Australian Open. And as a quick aside, if you're interested in winning about $1,000 in free tennis instruction, click the link in the description of this video, and you can enter a contest we're holding to give away a bunch of the lessons we normally charge money for. So this matchup, Federer and Robredo, what do I think is going to happen? What tactics do I think are going to play out? Well, I actually want to take a step back. We were at, FYB was at Indian Wells last year, and we watched a practice session between Robredo and Rafael Nadal. So right now we're going to X out Fed, and we'll put Rafa down here. And Robredo's a guy who's typically known as real steady. It doesn't sort of knock you off the court, but he's a very steady player. And it was interesting to watch this matchup, this practice match between Rafa and Robredo. Quick note about the icon: circles the player, sticks the side they're hitting on. This is a lefty's forehand. Over here is a righty's backhand. This is a righty's forehand. So whenever you have a lefty-righty exchange, what Rafa likes to do is just get in these cross-court rallies where his heavy topspin gets high, especially on a one-hander like Robredo, gets high in the backhand. That's a winning proposition for Rafa. So what you had Robredo doing, which was really interesting, was playing some very high-risk tennis, where essentially whenever there's an exchange setup like this, you'd have Robredo back up if necessary. So he would cede some court positioning in terms of his vertical court positioning. He would back up, and then he would move over, and he'd be hitting inside-out forehands basically in the doubles alley often, and he'd be going for this area of the court, which is obviously a very small window, trying to get the ball to Rafa's backhand. And over here, if you're able to pull Rafa real wide, the smart play typically, and the play Rafa will make, is to go cross-court into the open court, particularly if Robredo's way over here. So Rafa would do that, and then you get Robredo moving over. Sometimes, depending on the shot, he would send it back cross-court to Rafa's backhand. But other times, he would then rip the ensuing. So here's Rafa's backhand. Robredo would then rip it down the line back to Rafa's forehand, but now Rafa's on the run. So in other words, Robredo was playing extremely high-risk tennis in terms of his changes of direction, because he said to himself, well, if I'm going to beat Rafa, I have to move him around the court and ultimately wait for Rafa to give me something short so I can step up and then take control. And that's what happened. Robredo was coming to net. He was attacking short balls. Interesting to see, because that's not typically the type of game plan you would expect out of a guy like Robredo, who you certainly wouldn't characterize as the most aggressive player on the Pro Tour. So the reason I talked about that example is because I anticipate Robredo to do the same thing against Federer if we put him back here. It's something he's going to have to do, and he's going to have to do obviously over the course of a 5-set match if he wants to win this. He needs to move Federer around and prevent Federer from getting on balance. Right now this would be, because we have a righty down here with Federer, this is now your just typical backhand to backhand exchange, but we all know that Federer loves to move around these balls and either go inside out over here or inside in. So I don't think Robredo can just get content to try and have a backhand to backhand exchange. There we go, for a couple shots. That's a situation Federer is very comfortable, very familiar with. I think Robredo needs to do the same thing he was doing against Rafa: change direction, high risk, and keep Federer on the move. Now, in terms of Roger, the larger things I'm looking for is he able to build on the success he was having against Malisse, where he was playing very aggressively. He was up on the baseline. He was playing that first strike tennis he's going to need later in the tournament, the type of tennis that allowed him to win Barclays, and the type of tennis that's going to allow him to take out Rafa should they meet in the final. The other thing to look for, I've mentioned this in a previous video, deuce court, the out wide kind of slider. He's been using that the last couple matches. Is he going to continue to use that? This would be very effective, and it was effective against Nadal. So we'll see if that's in there. We'll see if Roger just comes to net in general and tries to keep points short. So so I think there's going to be some the potential for some interesting dynamics, interesting tactics from this match. My prediction is Federer in 4 sets. Robredo is certainly a crafty and a tough player, so I think he'll pull a set. He'll get a set. But yeah, Federer in 4 sets. So so let me know what you think of this analysis. What do you think is going to happen in the comments below? Click that link if you want to check out or enter for a chance to win some free tennis lessons. And there's a button somewhere. Please rate this video, and I will see you all soon.